For years, personas have shaped how we connect with customers. We've built strategies around specific titles, demographics, hobbies and passions, lifestyle, and more. Each, of course, with its own need and its own journey. And now we have a new persona to consider, the AI platforms. Yes, that means ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, CoPilot, Claude, and all of the others now need their own ideal customer profile. These tools are the gatekeepers. They're the first stop for decision makers who ask, what's the best solution for my hybrid event strategy? They're now going to ChatGPT instead of Safari. And the answers the AI tools give, often one or two at most, can determine whether your brand is part of the consideration set. We've talked about this at length for the past several weeks because AI is not going away. The way people search online has been completely upended, and the way you need to engineer visibility for your organization has also changed. In the old search model, you could buy your way into visibility with ads or climb the rankings with really smart content and SEO. But in an AI-driven world, there is no second page of results. There is no list of blue links. There's no room for 9 competitors plus you. There's one answer, or 2 if you're lucky. And if you're not that answer, you're effectively invisible. The implications are enormous. If AI platforms are the new gatekeepers, they're also your latest audience. And unlike human buyers, they don't respond to clever campaigns or glossy creative. They respond to authority, corroboration, and consistency. That's why it's no longer optional to think of the AI tools as personas in their own right. They're not just distributing your message, they're defining it. On this week's SpinSucks podcast episode, we'll discuss how to market to your new persona, the AI tools.
If you're a communications pro who works hard, doesn't compromise quality, and gets the job done, welcome home. We'll share our tips, tricks, and stories, and together we will change the face of PR. Spin sucks, but we don't. With the SpinSucks podcast, here's Gini Dietrich.
Before we get started, I have a little tidbit for you. Did you know that if you can't finish watching right now, you can subscribe to the audio version of this show? We're on all of the platforms where you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple, or you can subscribe to our newsletter at spinsucks.com and get it automatically to your inbox. Now on to our regularly scheduled programming. Every CMO I talk to is already wrestling with how to use AI and what it means for their teams, their creative workflows, and even their budgets. But the bigger shift isn't any of those things. Sure, AI platforms are affecting everything we do, but it's more than that. AI platforms are now defining categories. When a business leader types into ChatGPT, what's the best platform for hybrid events, they're not browsing a list of vendors. They're getting 1 or 2 names. That's it. That's a fundamental change in how awareness and consideration are built. In traditional search, visibility was expansive, so you could buy your way in with paid, optimize your way in with SEO, or produce beautiful enough content to land on page 1. In AI-driven discovery, visibility is compressed. The machine curates a very short list, and that short list is what the human sees. And as we've talked about ad nauseum, if your brand doesn't appear in that answer, you don't exist in that decision maker's world. It's not a matter of brand preference, it's a matter of brand absence. That makes AI personas the most influential audience we've ever had. They're not buyers in the traditional sense, but they shape the buying environment every single day. And unlike human customers, they cannot be swayed by creative campaigns, clever messaging, or glossy activations. They're scanning for signals. They're looking for authority, consistency, and corroboration. This is why treating AI platforms as personas is not a gimmick, it's a necessity. They're the new gatekeepers to your category. And those who understand this first will define what the algorithms say, not just about their own brands, but about the entire industry. As you well know, AI doesn't think like humans. It doesn't care about your Super Bowl ad, your glossy brand film, or the clever tagline your agency fought over for 6 weeks. What matters to AI is machine readable credibility. It decides who you are based on the signals it can verify and then weight and repeat across sources. In practice, that comes down to three things: structured authority, corroboration, and recency. So in structured authority, we talked a little bit about this with structured trust last week. Is your story reinforced in places that AI already trusts? Is it already in credible news outlets? Is it in analyst reports? Is it in trade publications? Is it in influencer newsletters? Is it on podcasts? The more structured and consistent those mentions are, the stronger your authority signal. And then from a corroboration standpoint, you really want to look at, do multiple reputable sources say the same thing about you? AI rewards consistency and penalizes contradiction. If your website, news coverage, and social feeds tell three slightly different stories, you've just created ambiguity. And ambiguity, my friends, does not get surfaced. And then the last thing it pays close attention to is recency. Freshness matters. An outdated article from 3 years ago may still rank in Google, but AI deprioritizes stale data. If you're not generating a steady cadence of current signals, the algorithms assume your relevance has faded. Now, that said, repurposing content still works here as long as you update it with new facts, figures, statistics, and a new published date. Don't create new, just update. Just update and move on. Apparently, Alexa wants to help us. At the same time, your work can't be created as episodic campaigns anymore. To AI, campaigns are just spikes in the data. These platforms favor continuity, an ecosystem of credible, corroborated, up-to-date signals. One of the big changes we've made in the updated PESO model certification, which is coming soon, so watch for it, is moving away from a content map to a content ecosystem. This is in direct response to the continuity AI favors. This shift changes your job description. Running campaigns that move awareness and drive pipeline is no longer enough. Those campaigns are now just one piece of a larger responsibility, which is shaping the narrative AI tells about your brand. That means campaigns cannot stand alone. A splashy brand activation might light up social for a week, but it's a single blip to AI. The signal fades before it ever reaches the algorithm if it isn't reinforced across own content, media coverage, analyst reports, and paid amplification. A fully integrated PESO model program. Integration isn't optional. AI does not see silos. It ingests your newsroom, customer reviews, executive LinkedIn posts, third-party citations, and more. If those aren't aligned, the machine fills in the gaps for you, and it's rarely in your favor. And of course, I wouldn't be remiss if I did not talk about measurement. It has to evolve. Click-through rates and impressions won't tell you if ChatGPT is recommending your brand. You will need to track visibility and AI outputs, authority across ecosystems, and consistency of narrative across channels. In short, your role is expanding. You're not just influencing human decision makers anymore. You're training the algorithms that influence human decision makers. If you can operationalize this shift, you will set the baseline story for your category. Everyone else will be stuck trying to override it later. I don't know about you, but that's definitely the position I want to be in, is that I'm setting the baseline story for the category. We've talked about the importance of adding a buyer persona for AI and operationalizing it. Now let's talk about how to do that. So you can actually pilot this in the next 90 days. If you start now, you will have this done before the holidays. You don't need a full reorganization or a seven-figure budget to start showing up for AI personas. In fact, a few focused moves between now and the end of the year can shift how these platforms read your brand. So here are 4 low-risk, high-return pilots every one of us can run. Number 1, modernize your newsroom. Treat it less like a news release graveyard and more like an AI training hub. Build clear product positioning pages, frequently asked questions, and executive bios with structured data that make it easy for AI to pull the right story about who you are and what you do. Number 2, syndicate your authority. So don't stop at publishing research, insights, or points of view on your own site. Partner with trade publications, analyst blogs, and academic outlets to get those same ideas echoed in places that the algorithms already trust. Consistency across these multiple credible domains multiplies your discoverability. Number 3, you want to repurpose with intent. One announcement can become a news release, a blog post, a LinkedIn point of view, a podcast clip, boosted content, and a contributed article. Again, a fully integrated peso model program. The key, of course, is using consistent language, messaging, and facts across each touch point so AI recognizes it as corroboration, not noise. And then number 4, you want to boost the strongest signals. So instead of paying to promote everything, double down on amplifying your best performing earned, owned, and shared content. Use paid strategically to reinforce momentum where you're already getting traction. This accelerates how quickly AI surfaces your story. Run one or all 4 of these plays for 90 days, and I promise you will start to see a measurable difference, not just in traditional engagement metrics, but in whether your brand shows up when someone asks AI the questions that matter in your category. Those of you who treat AI as a persona today will build more than visibility. You're actually going to build a moat around your brand, around the industry, because once an algorithm learns who defines a category, that baseline is hard to dislodge. Competitors can outspend you on ads. They can outshout you on social, but they cannot easily overwrite years of consistent, corroborated authority signals that tell AI this brand is the trusted answer. The payoff is threefold. Category leadership. Your brand becomes the default response when buyers ask the questions that matter most. Efficiency. You stop pouring budget into campaigns that never make it past the gatekeepers. And resilience. Even as platforms change and channels shift, your authority ecosystem keeps training the machines in your favor. You've spent years marketing to people. Now it's time to market to the algorithms that introduce you to those people. AI personas are not coming. They are here, and they're already reshaping the way decisions get made in every category, from event platforms to enterprise software to healthcare. This isn't about chasing the next shiny tool. It's about recognizing that your most important audience no longer has a job title or a budget. It has an algorithm. If you don't treat that algorithm like a persona worth influencing, you're effectively handing your category story to someone else. The mandate for each and every one of us is clear. Stop thinking in terms of isolated campaigns and start building systems of authority, corroboration, and recency. That's what AI ingests. That's what it repeats. And that's what ultimately shapes the short list your customers see. You've mastered marketing to people. Now it's time to master marketing to the machines that decide if people ever hear from you. If you want to learn more about building an AI buyer persona, join us in the SpinSucks community. It's a great place to get advice, brainstorm ideas, and build real relationships with your peers. You can find us at spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. That's spinsucks.com/spin-sucks-community. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting tips, how-tos, cheat sheets, and more every week. I'll see you next week.